So Mandy, tell us where your story began.
So I got married in 1998 to my amazing husband, and like every other couple, we just presumed that we would go on to have a family as part of our journey. And kids were always a massive part of my life. I was actually brought up as an only child, but I kind of gravitated. My mum said she either had a house full of girls or she didn't see me all weekend because I was at someone else's house. So when I was at college, I knew that I wanted to do something with children, and I applied to do my nurse training. And back, as I say, going back even longer, obviously, than that. At the time, it was quite popular, and you got on your nurse training course, but it was like a year in advance. So I had kind of a bit of a gap year, and I worked as a living nanny, a local nanny for 2 different families. And again, just completely adored, looking after their small children. I then worked and trained as a nurse for 3 years, and I trained to specialise in children's nursing. Went on and got my job and worked at some of the big children's hospitals in Manchester. So my whole life, my whole career was about children. And so I just presumed that when I got married, I would have my own family, and that was obviously really high on my agenda. But that didn't obviously go to plan. So we literally, got married like you do, and then literally started trying for a family. And probably just that went on for maybe 12 months. We then went along to our GP and had the usual kind of tests and things like that. My husband was found to have a low sperm count. I had conditions such as an underactive thyroid. So all of those things were found out from a medical perspective. And we went on a waiting list for NHS treatment. But again, all of those years ago, it was, there was a long, I think it was something ridiculous, like a 3 or 4 year wait. And again, you only got one attempt at IVF for your kind of free NHS go at that time. And again, although I was a nurse and I worked with children, people didn't really understand, going back 20 years, how important our emotional mindset was. But I wasn't getting any kind of support. Again, people ask you all the time when you're newly married, oh, when are you going to have a family? So you kind of make this narrative up in your head, don't you, that, oh, I've got my career, or I'm busy, or you'll give these little kind of scenarios just to kind of fend off those constant questions. Talking to other women, I went on then to explore the route of adoption. And I must say, for me, that was a massively positive experience, really, really positive. So you initially inquire to your local authority, and they have information evenings, and that's still what they do now. At the minute, they're online. So yeah, you would go along to an information evening where you're kind of given a little bit of information about the types of children that need adopting, obviously the types of people that they're looking for, an overview of how long it's going to take in the process. And if you want to go forward with that, you then make contact, and you're obviously taken on to have an assessment with social services. So we went along to an information evening, and we're going back to, it was the 10th of June 2004. So we went along, and again, I was really positive by then. We were kind of 6 months on from our final IVF treatment, and like you say, I'd moved through different emotions. And again, I was looking at this as, I want to be a mum at the end of the day, and I don't ever feel that I've missed out on giving birth, breastfeeding, all of those kind of things. Those kind of things weren't really very important to me. There are other women who I know who they have still hankered over that, and that can be an added trauma. For me, I couldn't really be bothered. I was quite, give me a baby and I'm happy. We went to an information evening on the 10th of June 2005, and we brought my son home, who was 9 months old at the time, on the 10th of June 2004. We brought my son home on the 10th of June 2005, and he was 9 months old at the time. So the best day of my life, completely, the day I became a mother. It was just amazing. And we celebrate that day every year. He was 16 at the end of August. And the 10th of June is his gotcha day. So the day we got him, the day he came home and made me a mum. So it's like a second birthday, and we celebrate it every year, and we go out and we have a family meal, and he has friends around. So he gets 2 birthdays. So for me, that was really, really positive. We then went on to adopt a second time, and I adopted my daughter. And again, her gotcha day is the 11th of November. And it was 2007, and she was 11 months old. So by the beginning of 2008, my story, I was a mum of 2 amazing children. So yeah, and then 2 years ago, we trained to be foster carers, and I now have newborn babies. So again, something that maybe I missed out on. So 2 years ago, literally, in fact, on Saturday, it's my first foster baby's 2nd birthday, and we've been invited to his party, which I'm so excited about. So we got our first foster baby in October 2 years ago as a newborn baby.
Andy, how can people get in contact with you if they're interested in the work that you're doing?
So my job role now, I'm called the Calm Mind Consultant. So that's my title, and that's quite new. I've just rebranded myself as that because I wanted to try and encompass a lot of these things. And obviously my website is www.chethamfarmretreat.com, and when you go on chethamfarmretreat.com, it has obviously who I am, it has my retreat venue, it has the fertility work that I do, it has the relaxed kids work that I do. So yeah, and all of my social media is either Chetham Farm Retreat or the Calm Mind Consultant. So yeah, if you just Google me, just put my name in. I've had some articles written about stuff that I do, so I am out there on the internet.